Okay guys, in this video we are going to graph a linear inequality also, but in this case the equation that we will need to graph is going to be in standard form. All right, so here's the first thing you're gonna pay attention to is what type of inequality you have. So if you look at this inequality sign, if the inequality is what we call strict, that means it's going to be something like less or more, then the line is going to be dashed because it's not going to include the boundary. But if the inequality is like less than or equal to, more than or equal to, then the line is going to be solid. Okay, now for me it's going to be dashed, so when I go over here I need to click and select that tool, the dash tool. Okay, so the first step here is to graph it, the actual line. So we're going to replace the inequality by equality. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to write this down. We're going to have negative 4x minus y equals 8. Now we need to graph this line. In order to graph the line, we need 2 points. Okay, the easiest thing to do is to find the intercepts. So the intercepts are, for example, the x-intercept is when y is 0, and the y-intercept is when x is 0. So when y is 0, this is going to cancel this here, and we're going to wind up with negative 4x equals 8. So to solve that, we want to get rid of the negative 4. But remember, this is multiplication. This is not addition. So operation or subtraction. So operation opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. That is going to cancel that here. And 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. So that is going to go in here. So negative 2, 0 is 1 point on the line. The next thing that we're going to do is now make x equal 0. Okay, so let me just rewrite the equation. So negative 4x minus y equals 8. Now we want x equals 0. So if x equals 0, that is going to cancel that term here, and we're going to just wind up with negative y equals 8. Now to solve this for y, remember this is the same as negative 1 multiplied by y. We can divide both sides by negative 1. That's going to cancel it here, and then we get y equals 8 divided by negative 1. That's negative 8. So that's going to be over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph. So we got the x-intercept was negative 2, 0. So that's here. And then the y-intercept was negative 8. And that's here. Okay, so now we just have to decide, do we shade to the right of the dashed line or to the left of the dashed line? So we need to take a test point. I always take 0, 0 unless it's on the boundary, because 0, 0 is the easiest thing you can do. But it is not on the boundary, right? Because 0, 0 would be right here. So it's okay to take it. Now we got to go back to our inequality right here, and we want to replace. So I'm taking the point 0, 0, and I'm going to ask myself, do I get a true statement or not if I replace x with 0 and y with 0? So let's do that. So negative 4 parentheses 0 for x minus parentheses 0 for y. Is that more than 8? Yes or no? Well, negative 4 multiplied by 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. So now we get 0 greater than 8. Is that a true statement? Is 0 greater than 8? Well, no, because if you graph it, 0 will be here, 8 will be here. So 8 is higher, right? Larger than 0. So this is not a true statement. What that means is 0, 0, this point right here should not be shaded. It should not be in the solution region. So that means that we should shade the other side. So we're going to go ahead and shade this side right here. And you can place the point anywhere as long as you shade the left side, because 0, 0 should not be there, as we just determined.